Jaya Divine Grace, Ajaya Sharanaravinda Bhaktivinoda Swami Śrīla Prabhupāda ki Jai. Jai Om Mahārāja Parīkṣit Parīkṣit Astottara Shri Śrīmad Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Śrīla Prabhupāda ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Namacharya Śrīvanidas Thakur ki Jai. प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय. श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपी गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंद राधा कुंद गिरि गोवर्धन की जय. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद्-भागवतम की जय. Most auspicious Shayani Ekadashi ki jai. Hare Kṛṣṇa. Welcome to ISKCON Detroit Dev Sadan Mandir, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam morning class. So, today we are reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 16, How Parīkṣit Received the Age of Kali, text number 20. So, let us start with the invocation prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nasthaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistikim Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Hare Kṛṣṇa. Welcome to ISKCON Recorded Dev Southern Mandir Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam morning class. So, reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 16, How Parīkṣit Received the Age of Kali, text number 20. Padenyunam sochasi maikapadam Padenyunam sochasi maikapadam Atmanam va vrishalir Bhokshamanam Atmanam va vrishalir Bhokshamanam Aho suradin hritayagna bhagan Aho suradin hritayagna bhagan Prajautasvin Maghavati avarsati Prajautasvin Maghavati avarsati Padenyunam sochasi maikapadam Atmanam va vrishalir Bhoksyamanam Aho suradin hritayagna bhagan Prajautasvin Maghati avarsati. So let us go word by word. Padai, by 3 legs. Nyunam, diminished. Sochasi, if you are lamenting for that. Ma, mine. Ekapadam, only 1 leg. Atmanam, own body. Va, or Vrsalai, by the unlawful meat eaters. Bhoksyamanam, to be exploited. Aho, in sacrifice. Sura Adin, the authorized demigods. Hritayagna, devoid of sacrificial. Bhagan, share. Praja, the living beings. Uta, increasing. Svit, weather. Maghavati, in famine and scarcity. Avarsati, because of rainlessness. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Charanaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Śrīla Prabhupāda. Śrīla Prabhupāda ki Jai. Translation. I have lost my 3 legs and am now standing on 1 only. Are you lamenting for my state of existence? Or are you in great anxiety because henceforward the unlawful meat eaters will exploit you? Or are you in a sorry plight because the demigods are now bereft of their share of sacrificial offerings, because no sacrifices are being performed at present? Or are you grieving for living beings because of their sufferings due to famine and drought? Purport. With the progress of the age of Kali, 4 things particularly, namely the duration of life, mercy, the power of recollection, and moral or religious principles, will gradually diminish. Since Dharma, or the principles of religion, would be lost, in the proportion of 3 out of 4, the symbolic bull was standing on 1 leg only. When 3/4 of the population of the whole world become irreligious, the situation is converted into hell for the animals. In the age of Kali, godless civilizations will create so many so-called religious societies in which the personality of Godhead will be directly or indirectly defeated. And thus, faithless societies of men will make the world uninhabitable for the saner section of people. There are gradations of human beings in terms of proportionate faith in the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The first class faithful men are the Vaishnavas and the Brahmanas, then the Kshatriyas, then the Vaishyas, then the Shudras, then the Mlechas, then the Yavanas, and at last the Chandalas. The degradation of human instinct beings from the Mlechas and the Chandala state of life is the last word in human degradation. All the above terms mentioned in the Vedic literatures are never meant for any particular community or birth. They are different qualifications of human beings in general. There is no question of birthright or community. One can acquire the respective qualifications by one's own efforts. And thus, the son of a Vaishnava can become a Mlecha, or the son of a Chandala can become more than a Brahmana, all in terms of their association and intimate relation with the Supreme Lord. The meat eaters are generally called Mlechas, but all meat eaters are not Mlechas. Those who accept meat in terms of scriptural injunctions are not Mlechas, but those who accept meat without restriction are called Mlechas. Beef is forbidden in the scriptures, and the bulls and the cows are offered special protection by followers of Vedas. But in this age of Kali, people will exploit the body of the bull and the cow as they like, and thus they will invite sufferings of various types. The people of this age will not perform any sacrifice. The Malaysia population will care very little for performance of sacrifices. Although performance of sacrifice is essential for persons who are materially engaged in sense enjoyment. In the Bhagavad Gita, performance of sacrifice is strongly recommended. Bhagavad Gita chapter 3, text 14 to 16. The living beings are created by the Creator Brahma, and just to maintain the created living being progressively towards the path back to Godhead, the system of performing sacrifice is also created by Him. The system is that living beings live on the produce of grains and vegetables, and by eating such foodstuff, they get vital power of the body in the shape of blood and semen. And from blood and semen, one living being is able to create other living beings. But the production of grains, grass, etc. becomes possible by rain, and this rain is made to shower properly by the performance of recommended sacrifices. Such sacrifices are directed by the rites of Vedas, namely Sama, Yajur, Rig and Atharva. In the Manusmriti, it is recommended that by offerings of sacrifice on the altar of fire, the sun god is pleased. When the sun god is pleased, he properly collects water from the sea, and thus sufficient clouds collect on the horizon and rains fall. After sufficient rains fall, there is sufficient production of grains for men and all animals, and thus there is energy in living being for progressive activity. The Mlecchas, however, make plans to install slaughterhouses for killing bulls and cows along with other animals, thinking that they will prosper by increasing the number of factories and live on animal food without caring for performance of sacrifices and production of grains. But they must know that even for the animals, they must produce grass and vegetables. Otherwise, the animals cannot live. And to produce grass for the animals, they require sufficient rains. Therefore, they have to depend ultimately on the mercy of demigods like Sun God, Indra and Chandra, and such demigods must be satisfied by performances of sacrifice. Thus, material world is a sort of prison house. As we have several times mentioned, the demigods are the servants of the Lord who see to the proper upkeep of the prison house. These demigods want to see that the rebel living beings who want to survive faithlessly are gradually turned towards the supreme power of the Lord. Therefore, the system of offering sacrifice is recommended in the scriptures. The materialistic men want to work hard and enjoy fruitive results for sense enjoyment. Thus, they are committing many types of sins at every step of life. Those, however, who are consciously engaged in devotional service of the Lord are transcendental to all varieties of sin and virtue. Their activities are free from the contamination of three modes of material nature. For the devotees, there is no need for performance of prescribed sacrifices because the very life of the devotee is a symbol of sacrifice. But persons who are engaged in fruitive activities for sense enjoyment must perform the prescribed sacrifices because that is the only means to get free from the reaction of all sins committed by fruitive workers. Sacrifice is the means for counteracting such accumulated sins. The demigods are pleased when such sacrifices are performed, just as prison officers are satisfied when the prisoners are turned into obedient subjects. Lord Caitanya, however, has recommended only one yajna or sacrifice called saṅkīrtana-yajña, the chanting of Hare Kṛṣṇa, in which everyone can take part. Thus, both devotees and fruitive workers can derive equal benefit from the performances of saṅkīrtana-yajña. Jnānātimirāndasya jnānāñjana-śalakaya chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Caitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeyam Shri Gurom Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guron Vaishnavamsta Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamsta He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dīnabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu-sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Caitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Kṛṣṇa Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Kṛṣṇa. So, welcome to ISKCON Detroit Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam morning class. So, yesterday we have seen how Dharma in the form of bull asked cow, who is in the form of earth. Earth is in the form of cow. So, madam, are you not hale and hearty? Why are you covered with the shadow of grief? It appears by your face that you have become black. Are you suffering from some internal disease? Or are you thinking of some relative who is away in a distant place? So today there is a continuation of the conversation happening between the Dharma and Mother Earth. So Dharma is still questioning, is still inquiring Mother Earth, I have lost my 3 legs and I am now standing on one only. Are you lamenting for my state of existence? Or are you in great anxiety because henceforward the unlawful meat eaters will exploit you? Or are you in a sorry plight because the demigods are now bereft of their share of sacrificial offerings because no sacrifices are being performed at present? Or are you grieving for living beings because of their sufferings due to famine and drought? So still there is an inquiry going on. So between Dharma, who is bull, who is in the form of Dharma, so he is inquiring Mother Earth, who is in the form of cow. So still, what happened? Why are you so sad? And in the following verses, we see how the Mother Earth, in the form of cow, answers back to Dharma. So today is also an auspicious day of Shayani Ekadashi. So after we discuss Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, we go through the glories of Shayani Ekadashi story. So first we'll see how this age of Kali has been affected, and Śrīla Prabhupāda has given an elaborated purport on it. So the context is like Mahārāja Parīkṣit is touring his kingdom and he sees an extraordinary incident happening in front of him. A bull standing on only one leg and a cow crying helplessly, and Kali personified beating both of them. And here cow resembles Mother Earth and bull resembles Dharma or religion. And we all know the 4 pillars of Dharma, like 4 legs of that bull is truthfulness, cleanliness, mercy or compassion, and austerity. Now, in this age of Kali, in this current situation, only truthfulness remains. All the other 3 legs have been disappeared. And even Parīkṣit Maharaj wants to know why Mother Earth is crying. And before even Mother Earth begins to answer, the bull Dharma begins inquiring Mother Earth. And today's verse is one of those beautiful questions, because it discusses important questions raised by Dharma. First, we are gonna see about what are the symptoms of Kali-yuga. what is exactly going wrong. And next we're gonna see what is the solution for it. Okay, we got the symptoms and we understand that is going wrong. But how devotees become the healing power, healing force of the society. And at last we're gonna see how Lord Caitanya transformed this Kali-yuga through one simple yajna. And after that we're gonna see glories of Shayani Ekadashi. So first comes first is like the 4 symptoms of Kali-yuga that Dharma laments. Here, even though the bull is standing on one leg, but it does not complain about himself. He worries about everyone. This itself teaches us a great lesson that a devotee always thinks, how can I make others happy? He does not think about himself at any moment. Even though he is feeling sad or he is feeling so much, he is suffering, but still he wanted to help. He wanted to show that compassion towards others. Not just like, oh, how can I become comfortable? How to exploit this person, or how to exploit that person, or how to use this person, how to use that person. No. Just have to be, he will be much more compassionate towards everyone. So, if we see in our day-to-day example, when something goes wrong in our family, who gets the worry first? It's usually mother, right? So similarly, here Dharma worries for the entire world. The first symptom of this Kali-yuga is the bull or Dharma or religion is standing on one leg. Initially, this Dharma or religion had 4 legs, that is the 4 pillars of Dharma: truthfulness, cleanliness, mercy or compassion, and austerity. So starting with the age of Satyuga, these all 4 legs were present to the fullest. And when it comes to Treta Yuga, slowly one pillar got into extinct. So now it is only on 3 legs. And in Dwapara Yuga, it is just on 2 legs. And when it comes to still Kali Yuga, it is only standing on 1 leg, that is truthfulness. That is also degrading nowadays. So let us see a quick analogy, like if you try to afford or if you try to purchase a dining table and you bring a good quality dining table to your home and you see like there might be 4 legs to the dining table, right? So if you try to remove 1 leg, what happens? It is still, it is shaky, but at least it has some balance on the other side of 3 other legs. It is still manageable. And if you remove other one, like 1 more, it is very unstable. And if you remove still more the 3rd one, it is impossible to use. So similarly, even our society today is getting the same situation, is facing the same situation with the losing of pillars of Dharma, like losing of legs of Dharma, like truth, cleanliness, mercy, austerity, these all being lost in the current society. Jai Shri Radha Jai Jagannath Jai Baldev Subhadra Jai Shri Shri Jai. So in the current society or modern world, technology may improve, buildings may become taller, roads may become wider, but if morality disappears, everything collapses. There is no value. Even though there is a tall building, there is a huge wide roads and much advanced technology, but you don't have that moral and ethical values, then what is the use of having all those possessions? It's just a waste of matter. So, to be like inquisitive and so people may question like, what keeps a family together? Is it some money or education or some character? Money is a temporary thing, because today you may be earning good, you may be saving some money, but maybe after few years you might not be able to work as you are now, and even the time comes like there will be no savings. So, but still, will you be just leaving the family as is and you will be choosing your own path? No, right? You are tightly held with the responsibilities of the family. Somehow or other, by Krishna's mercy, you will be able to protect your family and also serve your family in a nicest way. So it is the love and the affection that keeps the family together minded, and also if we try to engage family in devotional service, Krishna will take care of entire family and all the devotees. So it is very important that we stay connected with Krishna, not only individually but also through families also. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna reveals that when in the 4th chapter, text 7, whenever religion declines, he appears millennium after millennium. One may think like, oh, Krishna appears just because buildings disappear. No. It's not like that. Krishna's appearance and disappearance has very, very deep meaning that with our speculative minds, we cannot even imagine what could be the reason. But Krishna himself reveals the answer that Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya chaduskrutam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. And yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyudhanam adharmasya tadatmanam srijamiham. So Krishna says, whenever there is a decline in religion, and also wherever there is innocent being punished and harmed, there Lord appears and he protects the innocent devotees and innocent people, and also annihilate the miscreants. The main reason is he descends because if Dharma disappears, he comes to re-establish this Dharma principles. And the second symptom is mercy disappearing. Mercy gradually decreases. Usually people think like, okay, what is mercy? Mercy means feeling another person's suffering. If you feel that person's suffering or pain within yourself, then you are merciful on that person. Today, many people are very fanatic and they wanted to be popular. So whenever they encounter an accident or some incident happening on the road, they just open up their mobile gadgets and they start recording the video and they post on the social media like Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram and all. They want to make they want to use that accident or incident to be more and more popular and to get more and more fame. So instead of helping the victims, they are just capturing some videos and images just to make their fame grow much more higher. So social media becomes more important than compassion nowadays. Śrīla Prabhupāda mentioned this practically. When he first came to New York, he was told that someone could be attacked in public and people might simply ignore it. And he perfectly used this example to illustrate how mercy diminishes in Kali-yuga, how it will be gradually decreasing, and at a point there will be no mercy left over. And when we hear the example of the story of King Shivi, where a pigeon comes in for protection and a hawk or eagle want to eat it. The king, in order to protect that pigeon, he offers his own flesh. And he put himself in that weighing scale just to make sure that pigeon is being rescued. So at this point of time, we don't have that much dare to do that kind of sacrifices, but still we have a very good thing to practice in this Kali-yuga that we're going to discuss in further section. And the practical lesson that we can learn here is like, mercy is not weakness, mercy is strength, and our real strength protects us. And the other symptom is unrestricted sense gratification. The bull or Dharma says here, will unlawful meat eaters exploit you? See how realistic it is, the purport. Even though it was translated, translation and purport, it was being authored long back ago, but still, to the latest point of time, it is very relevant. Prabhupada clearly explains that these designations are based on qualities and behavior, and they are not based on birth, and that anyone can rise or fall by their association and spiritual practices. And here, the problem is unrestricted enjoyment, and there is no regulation or discipline involved. So, if we consider the analogy of driving a car, when we put on our seat belt and when we follow signals and also when we follow speed limit, we are protected. Otherwise, if someone say like, oh, I want freedom, I want to do this, I want to go at this speed, I want to jump the signal, I don't want to keep seat belt. What happens? If suddenly something undesirable happens and he gets into great trouble if he is not being equipped properly, and also there would not be any protection if he is careless on himself. Here, rules are meant to protect our freedom. Similarly, our spiritual practices protect our happiness. They not only protect our happiness but also increase the blissful nature of ours towards Krishna, the interest and love towards Krishna. And the next symptom is no sacrifice is performed in this age of Kali. Because here the bull, the Dharma asks like, are the demigods not receiving a sacrifice? And we see in the current society, people today want salary, promotion, career, success, rain, food, peace, health. But they want everything from God, but they don't have even a slightest of the gratitude towards the Lord. So, we have seen, so these are the symptoms of the age of Kali. So now further we see like, what is the solution for these symptoms then? Okay, we have seen what is the disease. So now what is the medicine that we have to take, and whom we have to follow it from. So next is the greatest sacrifice for Kali-yuga is becoming a devotee. Many people think that the solution is more regulations, laws, more technology, like more advanced technology or more education, more etiquette, learning and values and ethics. But Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam says it is necessary. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam agrees that these are all necessary, like more enforcement of laws, more advancement in technology, more advancement in education and everything. These are all necessary, but it is incomplete. Because unless our hearts change, our society won't change. If you want to see the change in society, so first you try to see that change within yourself, and then if you are able to see that change, then you are freely allowed to go out and preach. We see the pastime of Jagaya and Madha in Chaitanya Charitamrita, when Sri Caitanya Mahāprabhu has Lord Nityananda Prabhu has encountered them and also met them in the marketplace and tried to preach them Krishna consciousness, but they were reluctant to accept Nityananda Prabhu, and they were already chasing Nityananda Prabhu. And after that chasing, and again the next time he approached, they even physically harmed Nityananda Prabhu, Lord Nityananda. And upon just hearing that, Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu ran to the scene and he tried to even chop off their heads with Sudarshan Chakra. But the Lord Nityananda Prabhu, being so merciful, he stopped Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu in doing that act. Because if Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu has to kill the persons who are not who are very rebellious and who have many anarthas, then Lord Nityananda Prabhu said, you have to chop off heads of each and everyone in this age of Kali, because there is slightest of negativity or sinful propensity in each and everyone's mind today. But after hearing this, after seeing their extraordinary pastime, Jagai and Madai has got transformed into a great devotee. The greatest reform begins inside our heart. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's solution is like formerly doing as per the scriptures, like the horse sacrifice, fire sacrifice, huge rituals, which are not possible in current society. So, therefore, Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu has simplified to each and every one of us so that we can get the benefit of doing millions and millions of yajnas at once. And in the Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila, chapter 17, we see that Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nameva Kayavalam, Kalau Nastyeva, Nastyeva, Nastyeva Gatiranyata. So there is no other way except Krishna consciousness and Hare Kṛṣṇa mahā-mantra. People may think like, oh, you are saying this sacrifice, you are saying that sacrifice, there will be a lot of time, and also we couldn't find the qualified brahmanas to do that. But Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu has simplified each and every one of us in a very humble and also a very compassionate way. He has given us Krishna Prema through saṅkīrtana-yajña. He spread that Krishna consciousness through saṅkīrtana-yajña. It is just one sacrifice, and everyone who even just hear it, not even reciting, but even hear, their hearts will get transformed easily. So, there is no prior qualification required to perform this yajna or chanting of holy name. Any person can chant at any time of the day. Irrespective of their schedules and work, they can chant at any time of the day. And there is no certain qualification, oh, this mantra has to be chanted only by brahmanas, or this mantra has to be done only if they are second born, like that. So there is no specific qualification for that. Anyone is open to do saṅkīrtana-yajña. So if you see one of the day-to-day example that we observe in our in and around us is like hospitals are the hospitals treat symptoms very carefully, and they take care of their patients very nicely. But the medicine which was being prescribed by the doctor treats the disease to the maximum level, and also it helps us to get out from that disease. And this saṅkīrtana-yajña, which was given by Lord Caitanya Mahāprabhu, just if we try to chant attentively the saṅkīrtana-yajña, or even if you participate in the saṅkīrtana-yajña, our heart gets cleansed. Our heart starts get cleansed properly, because we see in Sikshastakam, Cheto Darpana Marjana. Our heart is just like the mirror, and if we attentively try to chant the holy name, Hare Kṛṣṇa, Hare Kṛṣṇa, Kṛṣṇa Kṛṣṇa, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. It acts as like a scrubber, and it's like a holding thing that removes the dust from the mirror of the heart. And when we see practically the example of Mrigari, the hunter, who is a very cruel hunter, and he has left those animals like half killing animals. They were half dead, and he used to leave them as these, and while they are suffering a lot, he used to enjoy that suffering. And one saintly personality, Narada Muni, has changed him, because later he would not even, and he revealed to Mrigari that, see, if you try to kill like this, there will be more and more suffering further. So he gave the mantra Rama. Even that Rama mantra cannot be recited by Mrigari, because he was such a sinful person, and also he committed more and more sins right from his childhood. So then he starts chanting that Rama mantra slowly, and his heart gets transformed. And when one time one devotee comes to his house, and then he did not go normally, but he went here and there, and that person got confused, like, why you have come like this? So then he revealed that, see, there is a pile of ants that are being underneath my cloth. So I was just making sure that they are not being killed by anything. So here we see how the heart got transformed. Initially he was doing the half killing thing, but now he is not even harming a little ant, wantedly or unwantedly. So the key lesson for this section is like, devotional service transforms character from within. And one may question like, okay, we understand that saṅkīrtana-yajña is the most prominent factor of this age of Kali, but how to practice it? It's very simple. If you start chanting Hare Kṛṣṇa daily, and reading Bhagavad Gita and Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, and honoring Krishna Prasadam, serving devotees and Lord wherever possible, and protecting cows whenever and wherever possible, and live honestly, and offer food to Krishna. And we must speak truthfully, and we must show kindness. So if we try to follow these, slowly we will be able to realize like what we are actually of, and what is our constitutional position, and what is our eternal home. We will understand, and that results in a huge transformation of our heart. So to conclude, I would like to state a few takeaways today. Kali-yuga is recognized not merely by external advancement, but by the gradual loss of religion, mercy, purity, and spiritual remembrance. Real civilization depends upon character and God consciousness, not simply technology or economic growth. The decline described in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is based on qualities and conduct, not on birth or community. Devotional service naturally develops compassion, integrity, and all the noble qualities. The prescribed sacrifice for this age is saṅkīrtana-yajña, the congregational chanting of the holy names. Lasting social reform begins with the personal spiritual transformation. Until and unless you steadily fix your mind on soul and on purifying the soul, you won't be able to enjoy the service or the nectarian of the service, the blissful nature of service. So now we would see the glories of Shayani Ekadashi. So today is the auspicious day of Shayani Ekadashi. So we're gonna read from the glories of Shayani Ekadashi. The saintly king Yudhishthira Maharaj said, "O Keshava, what is the name of Ekadashi that occurs during the light fortnight of the month of Ashada, June, July? Who is the worshipable deity for the auspicious day, and what is the process for observing this event?" Now Lord Sri Krishna replied, O caretaker of this earthly planet, I shall gladly tell you a wonderful historical event that the Deva or Lord Brahma once narrated to his son Narad Muni. One day, Narad Muni asked his father, "What is the name of Ekadashi that comes during the light part of the month of Ashada? Much as you did, kindly tell me how I should observe this Ekadashi and thus please the Supreme Lord Sri Vishnu." Lord Brahma replied, "O great saintly orator, O best of all sages, O purest devotee of the Lord Vishnu, your question is an usual excellent for all mankind. There is nothing better than Ekadashi, the day of Lord Sri Hari, in this or in any other world. It nullifies even the worst sins if observed properly. For this reason, I shall tell you about this Ashada Shukla Ekadashi. Fasting on this Ekadashi purifies one of all sins and fulfills all one's desires. Therefore, whoever neglects to observe this sacred fast day is a good candidate for entering into hell." O Krishna. Ashada Shukla Ekadashi is also famous as Padma Ekadashi. Just to please the Supreme Lord Rishikesha, the master of the senses, one should fast on this day. Listen carefully, O Narada, as I relate to you a wonderful historical event that was recorded in the scriptures regarding this Ekadashi. Just hearing this account destroys all kinds of sins, along with all obstacles on the path to spiritual perfection. O son, there was a saintly king in the Surya Vamsha, Sun dynasty, whose name was Mandata. Because he always stood up for truth, he was appointed as emperor. He took care of his subjects as though they were his very own family members and children. On account of his piety and great religiosity, there was no pestilence brought or disease of any kind in his entire kingdom. All his subjects were not only freed of all kinds of disturbances, but also were very wealthy. The king's own treasury was free of any ill-gotten monies, and thus he ruled happily for many years. Once, however, because of some sin in his kingdom, there was a drought for 3 years. The subjects found themselves beset by famine also. The lack of food grains made it impossible for them to perform the prescribed Vedic sacrifices, offer oblations to Krita, ghee, to their forefathers, and to the Devas, engage in any ritualistic worship or even study in the or even study the Vedic literatures. Finally, they all came before their beloved king in a great assembly and addressed him thus: "O king, you always see to our welfare, so humbly beg your assistance now. Everyone and everything in this world needs water. Without water, almost everything is rendered useless or dead. The Vedas call water Nara, and because the Supreme Personality of Godhead sleeps upon water, his another name is Narayana. God makes his own abode on water and takes his rest there. It is said that three things cannot exist without water: pearls, human beings, and flower. This essential quality of a pearl is its luster, and that is due to water. The essence of man is his semen, whose main constituent is water. And without water, flour cannot be made into dough and then be cooked into various forms of bread, offered and eaten. Sometimes water is called Jalanaraya, the Supreme Lord in the form of this life sustaining substance water. In his form as clouds, the Supreme Lord is present throughout the sky and pours forth rains, from which grows the grains that maintain every living entity. O king, the severe drought has caused a great lack of valuable grains. Thus we are all miserable, and the population is desiring as people die off or leave your kingdom. O best ruler on earth, please find some solutions to this problem and bring us to peace and prosperity once again. The king replied, "You speak the truth, for grains are like Brahman and the absolute truth, who lives within grains and thereby sustains all beings. Indeed, it is because of grains that the entire world lives. Now, why is there a terrible drought in our kingdom?" The Holy Scriptures discuss the subject very thoroughly. If a king or head of the country is irreligious, both he and his subjects suffer. I have meditated upon the cause of our problem for a long time. But after searching my past and present character, I can honestly say that I find no sin. Still, for the good of all you subjects, I shall try to remedy the situation. Thinking in this way, King Mandata assembled his army and entourage, and paid his obeisances to me, and then entered the forest. He wandered here and there, seeking great sages in their ashrams and inquiring about how to resolve the crisis in his kingdom. At last, he came upon the ashram of one of my other sons, Angira Muni, whose effulgence lit up all directions. Seated in hermitage, Angira looked like second Brahma. King Mandata was very pleased to see that exalted sages whose senses are completely under control. The king immediately dismounted his horse and offered his respectful obeisances at the lotus feet of Angira Muni. Then the king joined his palms and prayed for the Muni's blessings. Thus, that saintly person reciprocated by blessing the king with sacred mantras. Then he asked him about the welfare of the 7 limbs of his kingdom. The 7 limbs of a king's domain are: 1. The king himself, 2. The ministers, 3. His treasury, 4. His military forces, 5. His allies, 6. The Brahmins, 7. The sacrificial performances performed in the kingdom, and the needs of those subjects under his care. After telling the sage how the 7 limbs of his kingdom were situated, King Mandata asked the sage about his own situation and if he was happy. Then Angira Muni asked the king why he had undertaken such a difficult journey into the forest, and the king told him of the affection affliction, his kingdom was suffering. The king said, "O great sage, I am ruling and maintaining my kingdom while following the Vedic injunctions, and thus I do not know the reason for the drought. To solve this mystery, I have approached you for help. Please help me relieve the suffering of my subjects." Angira Rishi said to the king, "The present age, Satya Yuga, is the best of all ages. In this age, Dharma stands on 4 legs, as we even see today: truthfulness, austerity, mercy, and cleanliness. In this age, everyone respects Brahmins as the topmost members of society. Also, everyone fulfills his occupational duties, and only twice-born Brahmins are allowed to perform Vedic austerities and balances. Although this is a standard, O lion among kings, there is one Shudra, uninitiated, untrained person, who is unlawfully performing the rites of austerity and penance in your kingdom. This is why there is no rain in your land. You should therefore punish this labor with death. For by so doing you will remove the contamination inflicted by his actions and restore peace to your subjects." The king then replied, "How can I kill an offenseless performer of austerity and sacrifice? Please give me some spiritual solution." So the great sage Angira Muni then said, "O king, you should observe a fast on the Ekadashi that occurs during the light fortnight of the month of Ashada. This auspicious day is named Padma Ekadashi, and by its influence, fluential rains, and thus grains and other foodstuffs will surely return to your kingdom. This Ekadashi bestows protection upon its faithful observers, removes all kinds of bad elements, and destroys all obstacles on the path of perfection. O king, you, your relatives and your subjects should all observe this sacred Ekadashi fast. Then everything in your kingdom will undoubtedly return to normal." Upon hearing these words, the king offered his obeisance and then returned to his palace. When the Padma Ekadashi arrived, King Mandata assembled all the Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas and Shudras in his kingdom and instructed them to strictly observe this important fast day. After they had observed it, the rains fell, just as the sage had predicted, and in due course of time there were abundant crops and a rich harvest of grain. By the mercy of Supreme Lord Hrishikesha, the master of the senses, all the subjects of King Mandata became extremely happy and prosperous. Therefore, O Narada, everyone should observe this Ekadashi fast very strictly, for it bestows all kinds of happiness as well as ultimate liberation upon the faithful devotee. Lord Sri Krishna concluded, "My dear Yudhishthira, Padma Ekadashi is so powerful that one who simply reads or hears its glories becomes completely sinless. O Pandava, one who wishes to please me should strictly observe this Ekadashi, which is known as Shayani Ekadashi. Shayani or Vishnu Shayani indicates the day when Lord goes to sleep with all the Devas, demigods. It is not that after this day one should not perform any new auspicious ceremonies until Devottani Ekadashi, Haribodhini or Prabodhini, Devottahani Uttana Ekadashi, which occurs during the month of Kartik, October and November. Because the Devas, demigods, being asleep cannot be invited to the sacrificial arena, and because the sun is travelling along its southern course, Dakshinayana. Lord Sri Krishna continued, "O lion among kings, Yudhishthira Maharaj, whoever wants liberation should regularly observe a fast on this Ekadashi, which is also the day when the Chaturmasya fast begins." Thus ends the narration of glories of Ashada Shukla Ekadashi, also known as Padma Ekadashi or Shayani Ekadashi, from the Bhavishya Uttara Purana. So, these are all the glories of Shayani Ekadashi. So, I request everyone to utilize this opportunity, maximize our chanting, service, whatever best. Even if you cannot do anything, you can just hear the glories of Ekadashi, And also try to remember Krishna by hearing through his transcendental pastimes and kirtans, many more things. So please try to engage yourself more in the service of Lord today, in the service of Hare Kṛṣṇa. So Grantra Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai, Śrīla Prabhupāda ki jai, Shayani Ekadashi ki jai. Hare Kṛṣṇa.